Hi, art students. It's time for another week of art. I hope you're having fun at home as much as you can and getting all your work done. Anyways, today we're going to work on part two of our current art project. So, let's get on with it. All right. Hello, remote students. We are going to continue our can drawing today. And we're going to use pencil, eraser if you have it, our same paper, our can, but I'm going to use colored pencils. All right. Oh, I got to sharpen my black. Yeah. That might be okay. Let's try it. Sharpen it next time. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to create a value. We want to create values within our drawing. Values are lights and darks, shadows and highlights, right? And we're going to kind of work on it today. And then we're also going to tighten up our drawing. We're going to make it a little more solid, like not so sketchy. And then add more details. In fact, maybe we'll, I kind of got to do that first. Like, there's some details I need to add. So we're going to do that first before I get to this colored pencil. And then, yeah, so that'll be that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, though, is we want to make, let's do it at the bottom of our paper. So let's see, usually I do it up here. Let's, you know what, I'm going to do it up here. Let's do it up here so we can see it, right? Let's see, I'm going to do it right here. And so we want to make, we want to draw a very thin rectangle. And this is going to be our value chart, okay? Now, normally value charts have nine values, but that's kind of hard to do. We're going to do 5, right? So the trick is, how do you get 5? Here's how you do 5. It's hard to divide this by. Let's see, if I do it here, yeah, it's only going to give me 4. Well, let's just do 4, and then we'll add a box. Okay, so watch. I'm gonna divide this in half. So I divided it in half. Then I'm going to divide both of these in half. That'll give me 4. And then we'll just add a box. It's easier to do it that way than to try to divide this by 5. You're like, I can do it. Okay. I'm going to just add a box down here. Okay. And if you're going to use pencil, then you're going to use a pencil. You're going to, but I'm going to use black colored pencil because I'm going to be using colored pencil for my project. So the first thing you want to do is you want to fill in your bottom box as dark as you can get it. So let's see, I'm going to go. So I'm going to fill this in as dark as it can go. And that is my darkest value. So that's number 5. Okay. White is going to be my number 1 value, so that's just white. So we just leave that. We don't even have to do anything with that one. Now we want to find the middle one, and we want to shade that in halfway between white and black. Now, don't make it too dark yet because we can always make it darker. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this like this for now. It might be darker than that, it might not be, but you don't want to go too dark because you can't really erase this. It's hard. I can always make this darker if this needs to be darker. Now let's make there's a value, so it's like it's in between black and this color. So it's going to be darker than this, but lighter than this. So let's see, I'm going to press down a little harder here. Yeah, this works nicely. With colored pencils, you can more easily get values, like you can get darker. So let's see, it's probably going to look like this. Yeah, so here you can see black, dark gray, gray, and now we need a lighter gray. So we need a gray in between white and medium gray. And so don't do this one very much. Just do it a little bit, and then you can always make it darker if you have to. Oh, that was pretty dark. There. So now it looks like this one needs to be a little darker. So I'll just do it a teeny bit darker. Try not to overthink it though. There, that's pretty good. Okay. I had to press down very lightly to get this one. So remember, press down lightly. Like, well, the first one, you just make it as dark as you can, so that's easy. But these ones, make them lighter and then slowly make them darker. Because if you make it too dark, it's hard to um, make it lighter again. Okay, so that's my values. So I have 5 values. So I have, you know, here, I'll put numbers. I'm going to use my pencil. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now there's probably not going to be a lot of 5. That's like black. It's like pure black, right? So there's probably not going to be a lot of that. And since these values are pretty broad, I might say, oh, I'm going to do a value in between, 3 and 4, right? Normally there's 9. But that's, like I said, that's pretty hard to draw. I'm not going to make you do it for this project. Maybe for our final project, I'll make you do a 9 value. It's kind of tricky, huh? But anyways, for now, it looks like I might say, oh, in between 2 and 3, right? Because you can still get a value like that's not as dark as this and a little, like a little darker than this and not as dark as that. Whatever, you get the idea. Okay. So anyways, here's my Coca-Cola can. Before I start using my black colored pencil to like start shading and stuff like that, I want to draw some more details. And so that's kind of what we want to do. Last time we just did the basic outline. It's kind of rough. It's kind of sketched in. It looks pretty good. Now you're going to look at your own can, right? Because you're drawing your own can, and you want to position it in the right position that you did last time. So, mine's going to be something like this. But I'm going to put, I guess I can put it here. It might get in the way of my hand. But mine's, I'll try to leave it there for now. And now I want to draw very lightly, though. I want to draw some of these details. So let's see. Let me see if I position this just right. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So for instance, I want to try to do, there's like the Pepsi symbol, it's like the circle. I got Diet Pepsi, the word. Try to draw the word if you can, but if some words are super tiny, so I don't know. Try your best though, but like if it's a big word like Sprite or something like that, yeah, try to draw it carefully. Okay, so let's see, and lightly. So if you draw it lightly, you can always erase it later, right? Okay, so first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to draw this circle. So it's kind of going like in here. I'm drawing this lightly too. Okay. And then it's kind of like you don't even see it here. It kind of bends in for my particular can, and then it kind of like comes out here and it kind of curves. This is where you want to observe, right? You want to observe what this can looks like. This kind of goes like, this is like a dent. Okay, and then this thing kind of goes around here. And then there's like another dent kind of like right here. Okay. And then here I got this white swivel part. So this is like my can, right? So your can will be different. So this is kind of like, now I'm looking at my can and trying to draw it at the same time so I can kind of follow the lines. I'm trying to look at my can and draw. It's kind of hard to do, but you just take your time. So this kind of goes here, and then it kind of goes here. And then there's some other kind of can lines here. Okay. And then there is a white outline around this symbol. It's like the Pepsi symbol. Okay. And there's a kind of like so here I'm kind of looking at these creases and wrinkles in there. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. And then let's see. There's a big, like this divot looks like it should be like bigger, like this. And then, see, I drew lightly so I could erase that carefully. I don't have much of an eraser though. That's why you draw lightly, see? Ta-da! And then this thing kind of comes down here. And then this. Okay. There's kind of like a ding here. Okay. This is kind of rounder. But that's what you want to do. You want to kind of focus on these details now and kind of tighten them up. Now, let's see. I don't know. Yeah, that all looks good. Okay, I'm going to need to sharpen my pencil. I got to wake up my son to sharpen my pencil. It's going to be great. My colored pencil, that is. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to put in Diet Pepsi here. So let's see. I got Diet. So now this is really small, so let's see. It looks like the D is kind of over here. Now, one trick is this. If you draw lightly your letters, right? And you don't, like, see how they're puffy letters? Like, in, before you draw the puffiness first, just draw the letter very lightly, kind of to get the position of it. Then you draw the puffiness around it. So let me see here. I'm going to go D. It's kind of like a small D. Okay, and then the I is like right here. Looks like it has a little dot. And then the E. And then the T. And make sure you follow how it looks too, right? Oop. Yeah. Okay. And then the Pepsi is like the P starts here and it's bigger. P. That E is almost a circle, so I'm going to draw it as a circle. Another thing you want to do when you draw is try to fit them in the same spot. So like you want to observe and see what it looks like and then try to copy it. Like I'm noticing the P kind of almost lines up with the D. So that's kind of what I did. All right. Okay, and then there's like a circle. There's like a circle in that P. Like this one, yeah, so like it kind of curves here. Okay, so I'm going to put another circle here for the other P. And then it has the line. And then the S. Okay, and then the last I. The last I kind of bends out this way. Okay, so now, well, you know what's nice is that solid blue. So actually, I could probably just make that in blue. You know what's funny? I drew it too darkly. I did it too dark. I should have been lighter. So I'm gonna like very carefully, let's see, erase this a little bit. What I was gonna say though is if you have puffy letters, you start with, I'll just do one puffy letter because see, since mine's solid, I could just do it in blue, and that's totally what I'm gonna do. But what I can do here is if let's say my letter was white and it had to be puffy, what I could do is I could kind of use this kind of basic outline and then I can kind of make it puffy. Like I can kind of go here, you know, kind of go along in here, you know. So you can make it puffy after the fact, right? But I don't have to because like I'm observing my can and I can just use blue. This is like solid color, so I'm gonna use blue. Remember, you don't have to use blue, or I'm sorry, you don't have to use colored pencils. If you have colored pencils, yes, you need to use them because they're going to work great for this project. But if you just have a pencil, then I probably would do this. Actually, I would do this a value. So this value, this blue, I'm looking at this blue, it's probably this value, 4. It's probably a 4 or in between a 3 and a 4, but it's probably a 4. So I would probably shade this as a 4, right? If I'm using just pencil. So I would use that gray. And you kind of look, you're like, well, how dark is that blue? Well, is it as dark as this? No. It's almost like a little darker than 4, but not as dark as 5. So it's kind of in between these two. Now that I look at it more carefully. But that's what you do. You're going to make that judgment call. But if you're using colored pencils, I just need to use a dark blue. And so watch, I'm going to look at that and I'm just going to very carefully color this in solidly. So let's see here. And this will be nice because it's a nice color too. So I'm just gonna, now I'm gonna make my letters a little thicker because, you know, it is, whoops, I moved my camera. It is thicker on that can. So here we go. And you want to be careful and neat. You can't really erase, don't try to erase colored pencils. Like, you know, a lot of students try to. Just try to be very careful and as neat the first time as that you can. It's very difficult to erase color pencils, and it looks, you know, it looks bad. It looks messy when you try to like erase it. So I would just try to live with your mistake. If you think it's, I don't know, yeah, I don't recommend it unless you like totally had to. I'm just gonna tell you not to. This curves up. So I'm gonna kind of make this S a little bolder, right? Looks like it's too big. It's okay. And then the I. Okay, and then the diet. So the diet's a little thinner than the Pepsi. I can always come back and make this a little thicker too if I need to. Okay, here we go. So there it is. All right. Well, I kind of need to erase my black. Let's see. Let me tighten up some of my drawing a little more. This looks okay. You know, let's see. Is there any words up here? There's kind of some words. I can't read it with my light. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, I can't read it. I don't have enough light. But there's words here. I'm gonna put some lines. They're like, and then it's like bigger. It's like California. It's like C R V, and then it's like, I don't know. It has a little picture thing here. I can't even. It's like weird. It's like a little. It looks like a little hand. Or is that like a crushed can? Okay, and then there's some stuff over here. It's like, I'm just gonna put some lines. They're so small. Can't even see it. Oh, you can barely see. I'm at the top of my page there. And there's like a CT here. Cause that Connecticut. That's funny. Okay. And there's like a little word right here too. Let me see. Is it a number? Looks like a number. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna kind of tighten. I can tighten this up with my colored pencil too. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to tighten up on this drawing? So when I say tighten up, I mean like you're looking at your drawing and you're kind of adding some final details. There's like a little mark here. This is where you want to kind of like, I don't know. There's like some wavy highlights there. Let's see. Oh, there's like a little bit of let's see, a little bit of the label over here. Yeah. Okay, and then down here there's like a little bit of this label stuff. So I'm just gonna put some like here. Okay. Just a little bit there, and yeah, that's pretty good. Got a big wrinkle here. Just kind of like here. Okay, so that's kind of what you want to do. You want to kind of tighten it up a little. Now what we can do is now you can take your colored pencil, your black, and you want to kind of, now again, not too dark, because what happens is we can make it a little darker. We can kind of make our lines a little more bolder, but we don't want to like trace every line perfectly. We just want to like the shadow ones. So like right here you can see, oh, well, this is pretty dark right here. So that I would trace. This is pretty dark. I could fill that in black. I'm running out of black, so I'll do that next time, but I'll fill that in black. Here's like a dark line, but there's not really a dark line over here. Okay? So but for now, but one thing I do want you to do is, and don't do it too dark, but you can trace around the outer edge of your can just so that it's, and I'm not going too dark. Like this is probably maybe a number 2, in between a number 2 and a number 3 value. But that way we can just see the outer edge. If you were doing super light, you probably drew your can super dark, so you probably don't need to do this. So like if you already drew your can really dark, you don't have to do what I'm doing. Oops, I messed up there. It's okay. It's a dented can, right? Oh, I'm out of camera, so I'm just gonna do this. This way, the can drawing kind of stands out from the background. But again, we don't want this too dark. Normally, like I'm looking at my can, there's no dark outline, not really, around my can. So I'm gonna do this so that you can kind of see the can a little better. Okay, and then it's kind of smooth here. Okay, so that way you can kind of see my can. See, already you can see it. Okay, now what I want to do, can I put this over here? It's kind of like this. Oh, you can't see it. It's going to be in my way. I don't want it to be in my way. Yeah, that's okay. Oh man, it's in my way. Okay, it's just gonna be out of the camera for the top part. So I'm looking at my can. I'm looking at my can and I'm looking at these dark parts. And you want to look at your can. So for instance, there's a dark line here, but not on top. There's kind of like a shadow, right? There's dark line here, maybe a little bit of a line here. This is obviously filled in dark. There's a little dark line here. So I don't want to draw, I just want to draw this whole shape with my pencil because it's not dark over here, right? It is dark here. There's a dark line here. There's pretty much a dark line all the way around for this one. So I can draw that. But that's what you want to do. You don't just want to trace everything. Okay, so let me show you. Let's watch. So let's see. I'm looking at my can. Let's see. Okay, so I already have this dark line, so that's pretty good. This dark line, it kind of comes around here. I got to turn my paper when I do this so I can get a smoother curve. This part isn't dented. Okay. Okay, and then let's see. Let's look in here. This thing is definitely dark. So let's see. It's dark. It has it's like two lines. It's like dark here. I got to turn my paper. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So this is dark. This way I can get like a more fluid line with my hand. And this is dark. Notice how I'm not pressing down too dark yet. Like it's dark. It's darker. But I'm not pressing down super hard with my colored pencil because I can always go back and make it darker. And that is what I will do. These kind of go into here. Okay, and then this kind of comes in here. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm looking at my can. So like I said, so let's see. This part is dark. So I'll make that a little darker. And it kind of lightens up here. This is going to be dark. I'm not going to fill it in for now. You know, I'm going to fill it in lightly because I'm running out of colored pencil. But I will, I'm going to shade it in. But this is value black. But I'm not going to fill it in value black right now. I'm just going to fill it in so you can see it. So if yours is like black, fill it in value 5, right? I'm just doing it a different value for now, and I'll make it darker later. Okay. And then let's see, I'm looking here, so it's like this part is darker. This part is darker. I'm just kind of tracing the dark lines. Oh, okay, so there's a little bit of a shadow underneath this bolt thing here. Yeah, so it's like a little shadow. So that's what I mean by observe. You have to, and already it's looking, like that looks pretty cool now, doesn't it? That little shadow. Yeah, so you want to observe. There's a little bit of shading in here, so this is like maybe a 2 or maybe less than a 2. I kind of put some shading in there. I just kind of like lightly did that. Okay, I'm not even shading that much yet. I'm just putting in my dark lines. There's a little bit of a mark here. And then there's like a dark line here. I don't know what it is. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's like a little, that's interesting. Okay, but anyways, remember this would have been black, so I'm not doing that yet. Okay, now let's see. So now, let's see, I have some, let's see, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now it's time where I want to do some shading. Now, if I had a green can, like if I was doing a Sprite can and this was all green, I'd probably take now I have 2 different greens, right? So if you're doing Sprite, well, and this is my 12 pack. This is my Crayola 12 pack. So this is probably the cheapest, easiest thing to do, and I like them. They're pretty good. They're cheap. So if you don't want to bother your parents, and they're like, I don't want to buy you a big, because sometimes colored pencils can be expensive, like these giant packs, and your parents are like, I don't want to pay for that. And it's like, I don't blame them. No, I'm just kidding. But this is good enough for our class. This will be great. It's probably cheap. I don't know how much this is. I got this from my teacher wife. She had some of these hanging around. But you can get these at Target. They're cheap, or Walmart or wherever. So, but anyways, if I was doing Sprite, I could probably I have a dark green and a lighter green. So that's kind of nice. Coke, I would use red. If you're doing Coke and you wanted to get darker, you could probably go like red and then brown. You could probably mix some brown, like in the shadow areas. You could probably mix some brown. This is red-orange. This is red. They look so similar. So I could do red for for a Coke can, I could probably do red for like number 3 value. And then if it gets darker, I can add a little bit of brown on top of it. Like I can add some brown in there. And maybe I'll show you that next week. I should probably show it to you today. Okay, I'll show you today. Here we go. So let's say I don't even have a Coke can on me. I bet a lot of you are gonna have Coke. So if I was doing Coke and I was like, okay, here's my can. Remember, what's kind of nice is the more you use your colored pencil, the flatter the edge gets, and then you can get a nice smooth tone, right? And when you do it, you don't want to go like this. Don't do this. Right? Because first of all, it's messy. It looks like a scribble, but it doesn't look like one continual color. So you kind of want to overlap it a little, and you don't have to press down very hard at first. So you kind of do this. So this is a nice value for my Coke can. Here's my Coke can. Coke can. Okay. Now, if I wanted to get darker, I could just do that same pressure on top of that. So let's try it. Maybe a little harder, but you can see, oh yeah, it looks darker. Yeah. So you just build it up. So start light, and then you can build it up. Like I said, because if you go too dark, it's harder to go light again. But it is easier to slowly make it darker. That's the key. Okay, I could probably do this again. Let's see. I'm gonna go dark over here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go a little more. So now I'm pressing down a little harder. I'm not going all the way because I'm leaving some of that previously darker value. So let's see here. I can press down a little more. See, so now you can see 3 values. So I've got like dark, medium, light, lighter, right? And then if I really want to get, let's see if I can use this brown. Let's see if this brown works. I would go brown. I'll try the brown before I go to the black. The black will definitely make it darker, but the problem is the black. You want to use the black for the darkest values. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. So we got like dark, even darker. Let's try black. See, black is going to make it dark really fast. It looks pretty good. Black can work. So like if you're doing red, I would go red and then dark, red. And then when it gets to really dark, I would do brown and then a little bit of black. The goal is not to use a lot of black into your red because then it's like black and not red anymore, right? But look at your can, look at your values, right, to see what you want to do. Okay, I guess I could have done this red thing right here to show you what I just showed you. But same thing with the green though. So like if you're going to use green, you could probably use this green for your sprite, and then when it gets darker, you could probably use some of this. But remember, you want to step it. You don't want to like completely obliterate these values. So I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a teeny bit of dark black in here. You want to be able to see those steps. Now you might think, well, that doesn't look real when I see those steps. True, but if you look at it far, you won't see it. But if you look at it from far away, these values blend together. So values is probably a 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5 maybe. 1 is white. So we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay. Okay, so let's look at this. Here's my can. So we're almost done. Let's see. I'm going to do some shading here. I am going to go for my black. So my can is silver. So there's some grays. There's a lot of grays. And I think I told you last time to squint. You could squint your eye. Like you can hold like your left eye shut. And then it helps you see it more flatter. And then I can kind of look and see, okay, as I'm holding my left eye shut, and I can see, okay, so I got some really dark values here. But this is like a light gray, almost a white. Here's a white right here. Okay, but most of this can is like value number 2, right? Most of it's value number 2 with some white, like here's the white highlight right here. Here's white, here's number 1. Here's number 1 value, number 1. This is probably number 3, and then maybe this is like number 4, and then here's 5, like this dark part right here. That's 5, right? Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna look at this. Boy, my colored pencil's running out though. So let's see here. So how do you do it? How do you shade? You want to go lightly first, and you want to do the lighter values first, because you can always make the darker values. I'm going to totally run out of this black. I'm going to have to do it. Okay, let's try it here. So I'm going to go lightly. Okay. How am I doing it? I'm kind of following the contour of the can. The can is like, I don't know. It's like you don't just do it any which way. The problem is I don't have a nice flat edge to give me a nice value. So I'm going to go darker. So I know this looks pretty dark right here. So I'm going darker here. I want to try to get that nice flat edge. Okay, let's see. Here's a dark one. It's kind of like, and remember, you can shade it a little bit, like see how, right? So it's like dark, and then I like let off on the pressure so it's lighter, and it kind of blends it a little. Let's see. There's like a, here's like a dark. Trying to get that. What the heck? Is there like a crumb? There's like. That was hilarious. There's crumbs underneath it. Like it was totally ruining my. See that little dark spot? There's a crumb there. Oh man. Have a nice clean table when you work. Wow, lesson learned. Okay. Okay, so it's getting flatter. There, now I got that nice flatness. Okay, so now I can do this a little lighter. Yeah. Now from where I'm looking, it gets darker right about here. And then it kind of lightens up, and then there's like the highlight here. There's like a highlight, and then it's like, so I'm gonna leave that white for now. And then it's like number 2, or like maybe like a 1 or 1.5, and then it's a 1.5 and then a 2. So it's like, this is maybe like a 2. This is like lighter. Oh, I moved my can. Yeah, and then it's like a number 2 for the rest of it. Let's see. Up here, this is mostly a number 2, but I do have some, okay, I can't really show you. This time I'm going this way. Oh, I can't, dude. Table's too big. Now it's a highlight over here, but this is like a number 2. Notice how lightly I'm going first. Okay, and then it's a little darker over here, so it's like a 2. Ooh, that was maybe a little more than a 2. And then it's light over here. So your can might look different. Okay, this is mostly a 2, so I'm just going to kind of go like this. There's a little bit of a highlight over here. Oh. Try to go in the same direction, like so I got this thing here. Dude, there's a crumb under there. Dude, not cool. Wow. Yes, I do eat at my table sometimes. Okay. All right. But this is what you would do. Let me come in and do some of this stuff. Oh, so this is like a light gray. You want to go smoothly, so I'm looking at my can. This is mostly. There's like a little bit of a highlight right on this edge here. Okay. So I'm trying to follow the can, so now I'm kind of bending this way because this bends this way, right? Okay. There's like a highlight right on this crinkle. Notice how my shading kind of follows. They call it the contour, right? And we probably talked about this in class or on another project, but see how it kind of follows the shape of the can. So like this is kind of bending this way. So I kind of bend it this way and kind of bend it around. And that, even though you can see those lines, it doesn't look like a perfectly shaded thing. Like it kind of helps inform the viewer that, oh yeah, the can is bending there. It looks kind of neat. It looks nice instead of just shading it in normally. So you want to follow the contour of the can. You want to follow the contour of where you're shading. Here I was kind of shading this way because it's kind of like it bends this way. So it's kind of going to go that way. But then here, and then it bends the other way because it's going to bend this way, right? That's kind of an advanced trick. So if you don't do it exactly like that, I'm not going to, be upset with you or anything. And this is very difficult to do, but I'm showing you so that maybe you could figure it out. Here, I just shaded this in one direction because it's kind of flat. But then here I tried to like follow the curve, right? So if that helps you, great. If not, then just try your best. We're learning, right? Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go here. I'm not going to do all of this because I want to focus on getting some details in. But you would do everything a little bit. You would do everything a little bit first, kind of like what I'm doing. So let's see. This would be now. There's kind of a white. There's like a light spot here. So this is going to kind of come around here. So there's like a highlight. Okay. Here it's darker. Kind of curves. Okay, and then this is kind of dark. It's not, I'm not going super dark because I want to be able to make it go darker later. Here's my Pepsi color for the logo. Okay. That's a little lighter. This is darker. Okay, and then this is darker. I can't even see this part of my can. It's darker. This is like underneath the can. All right. And then here, I guess I did everything. I said I wasn't going to do everything. I'm doing it. This is darker. This is kind of darker too. So this is all like mostly like a level 2. Actually, I'm doing less than a level 2. I'm doing like in between a level... I'm doing in between a level 1 and a level 2. Why? Because I can always... Like I said, it's easier to go darker. So now I can make these like darker and I can go back in and like blend this a little better. But this is kind of the beginning. I want to kind of get a feel for my can. So let's see, it is darker here. So I'm going to make that a little darker. That's like kind of where the crease is. This is definitely darker, so I'm going to try to blend this. When you blend it, you go next to it, but you don't add as much pressure. It kind of curves like right here. So I'm going to kind of blend that a little. I'm like using less pressure as I get away. See, it's darker here on the edge, but then as I get away, so I can see how I can go back and make that part a little darker. But then here I want to make it a little lighter. Now remember, I'm looking at my can. I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm looking at my can, and you can kind of try your best to kind of make it. This is a little darker. I'm looking at my can. So that informs you, helps you understand. Boy, there's like a little dark spot here too. So it's like I'm looking at my can, and it gets a little darker on this edge. This is good. I can blend it into my dark line here. So this is a little darker here. This is like a level 2, maybe 2.5, right on this edge. So I'm going to do that. Okay. It's not a lot, but it blends. There. Okay. So I'm developing my can. I'm not going to develop everything. Let's see. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back up to here and let's see what we can do. Okay. So now, let me see if I can show you my can. The problem is, okay, so it's going to be kind of like, it's kind of like that. Okay, so here you can kind of see it. So here you can see I've started shading my can. And remember, your can will look different. Your can will be at a different angle. You might have a different light source. But here you can clearly see highlight. Here's the highlight, but it's dark right on top of it. So I'm going to start there. Let me move my other things away. And this is mostly silver, so I can do this with black, right? So black and white. So let's see. So this is darker. The problem is I'm holding my can and I got a camera in front of my face. But let's see if I can do this. It's hard to see, but there is a very light white line. So if I can get a little bit of a white line on that edge. Okay, so let's see here. And then it kind of curves away. The trick is to go slow and to be careful, right? Okay, but it looks like it should be a little thicker, but I think it's thicker over here. Oh my gosh, this is hard to do at this angle. Remember when you saw me turning my page? Normally you like turn the... Normally you turn the page, but I can't turn the page because I'm showing you. But you could spin your page to try to get a better angle. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm slowly getting it. Now let's see. Oh, there's like a dark, it's dark right here. So I'm going to make this part a little darker. So now I'm getting a variety of values. So this is like a 4.5 or a 5 almost. It's not a 5. It's like a 4.5. Here's 4. It's like in between 4 and 5. That's why they do like 9 values, because 5 values isn't that many. 5 values. I just made you do 5 values because it's easier to do a value chart, right? But like that's why like when you're in art school and stuff, you'll do like a 9. Like I said, we'll probably try to do a 9 later, but just not today. We'll build up to it. Okay. Let's see. It looks like it should be. Notice how I didn't perfectly follow this other line. Like I intentionally corrected my line while I was drawing it. You're like, oh my gosh, can you do that? Yeah, of course you can. Like, and then I can maybe shade this, or I mean, it's hard. You can't really erase this. Maybe I can smudge it. I don't know, but you're not going to notice that line as much because you're going to focus more on this darker line. But you can correct your lines as you do it. There's like another little line in here. It's kind of like this. Yeah, and it's dark. But it kind of fades away over here. Okay, well anyways, I got my highlight here, but then it's like shadow over here. So let's see, shadow, shadow, but that's my highlight. That's my highlight. And then let's see, I'm going to go, this is like number 2. Let's see, oh, this thing still happens. Oh, let's see, it's still happening over here. And this is kind of shadowy. It's a little darker over here. So I'm just adding it on top of my number, like my number 2 value is kind of here. So now I'm kind of adding a little more. It's approaching level, or what, value 3. Okay. Okay. And now, so there's a little bit of a shadow along here. And then there's a little bit of a shadow underneath this thing. So let's see, I'm going to, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. Let's see. But I'm doing it lightly at first. It's not very much darker. It's kind of like in here. Okay, so what I'm trying to teach you, you're like, what are you trying to teach me, Mr. Smith? Is you want to very carefully observe, there's shadows in here too, the values and the lines of your drawing, of your can. And what you do is you very carefully look and observe and shade those values. And they may not look very good at first, but as you do it, they will look better and better. See, there's a little, and if you take your time and pay attention to all these little, like there's a little kink right here. Watch, it kind of goes like this. Yeah, kind of goes like that. Like I'm kind of noticing that right there. Oh, you probably can't see it in that video. Yeah, and then it kind of goes like this. So by observing those little lines and shapes, you'll create a real nice looking rendering or drawing. Rendering means there's shading and shadows and highlights and stuff like that. So sometimes they call a drawing like this is more like a rendering. It's like we're adding in all this stuff. Let's see, it's a little shadowy here. And I'm not finished. I could go in and make some of this stuff a little darker, but I am going to make this darker. So let's see, because this is the end of the video. So this was the, oh man, I still need to, I'll have to do it next time. I'm out of colored pencil here. But I lasted to the end of my video, so that's good. So here's my 5 value. Right there. Let's see. Can I curve this a little better? Probably. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not 100% done with this, but you can see as you carefully... Let's see if we can smudge this a little. This stuff doesn't smudge very much. You know what they have? They have these little paper smudgers, but I don't know. Let's see. I don't recommend that you go crazy trying to smudge everything. It doesn't really smudge. You can do it a little. It doesn't really smudge. Not like... you know what smudges is this stuff. So if you're not using... if you don't have colored pencils, then you can kind of do this. Like what I'm like, but this graphite will smudge more than these colored pencils, but it's okay if you're careful and I don't know, you're gonna smudge it anyways when you're like drawing over it. It's gonna totally smudge, so try not to do that. But here you can see, so we're beginning. So next week we'll talk more about color, but you could have done this with color. So like if your can was like a green can, instead of using black, mine's a silver can, so that's why I use black, right? But you could use greens, or if it's a Coke can, you could do it very carefully like the way I showed you, right? Go light first, because it's hard to go light again after you've gone really dark, right? And then like these are okay, but I can make these look better. I'm gonna shade, and like next week we're gonna really tighten it up. Tighten it up means make it look even better. Like right now it's kind of loose. Like you can see, oh, you can kind of see these lines. But maybe I can blend these a little better, add a little bit more darkness in there, stuff like that. I didn't do the color for the little logo, so we can do that next time. But this is it. So this is week 2 of our can, and hopefully you're liking the way your can looks. But this is the secret of drawing and to have fun drawing. You like observe something and you look real. It's skill. You have to learn it. So if you're having a hard time doing it, with practice you can get really good at this. You look at something very carefully, whatever it is, stuffed animal, a can, whatever, an Xbox controller, and you look very carefully at the shapes and lines, and you very carefully try to draw them. You try to make them the right size, and you can get a real nice. And it takes practice. But after you've done it a few times, because remember, you may have not have done this very much in your life. I've done this a lot in my life. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then soon you'll be like, I can draw. This is easy. And it'll be fun. The better you get at it, the more fun it'll be. Like right now, it may not be much fun because you're having a hard time at it. But just like learning music or sports, the more practice you do, the better you get at it, and the more fun it becomes. It'll become a lot of fun when you become like a master, when you have mastery level of shading. Anyways, that's enough talk. So that was it for this week. Next week we're going to tighten it up and we're going to add some more colors and do like that. But you have your own can to draw. So you don't have to finish it this week, but try to get at this level. Try to get your can to this level this week. Maybe you can add color. And then next week, or you can do more, and then next week we'll just tighten it up. Okay, so that's it. So I hope you had fun. I did. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you next week. So have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.